Welcome to How Far Is Too Far with your host Brian. And today we got a familiar face in the house, a new host. Before we get into all that, follow us on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, Apple Music, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, you name it. We're all of it. Take your time, just like it's every other social media platform out there. Any other, just hit the like, hit the subscribe, YouTube, leave a comment, leave a review. All of it, please and thank you. It's much appreciated. Is completely free for your enjoyment, and we do this why? Because we love you. Ain't nothing really. We're going after nothing with this, but to bring some joy, some light to people's life. Maybe with this, you get a little bit of a different perspective, listening from sometimes strangers or sometimes really close people. Who knows? And today we got super friend here with me. Daniel Georges, you already know who it is, Mr. First Episode. How you been, dog?
Doing great, man. How are you?
I'm good. Going through some things, but it's whatever. Just regular life. Trying to get my head straight, but other than that, same old stuff. What do we got? What do we got on the table today?
Joe Rogan, me, man.
Joe Rogan, you. Wow.
We're gonna have a conversation.
I wish I was at that level. You know what I mean?
We're gonna connect, best friends.
Friend to friend, yeah. I feel like this episode is gonna be a little bit, special. All of my episodes are really special, but this one is just outside of the chart because this is coming from the heart. This is not scripted or practiced or nothing. This is just two best friends, letting you judge us, and hear. A lot of the shit that we go through as men, as part of this society, as another statistic sometimes, and I don't consider myself any different or higher than anybody else. I feel like we all at a certain spiritual and physical level, but ultimately, this is me, guys. This is me. At talking to you, trying to get sometimes a different point of view. Maybe you're out here having the biggest struggle, and then you hear me, you're like, oh, I'm not doing too bad. But then it could be all the way around too. Maybe I'm thinking that I'm drowning on my own problems, and maybe one of you in the comments will let me know, like, dude, like, you're fine, don't worry about it. And then give me that different perspective of, like, quote unquote, it could have been worse.
I'm that dude.
You're that dude.
I'm that dude's that.
What do you mean you're that dude?
Let's talk. I want to bring value. I want this to be an episode where people come back to, and man, let's talk about money, goals, relationships, spirituality, challenges, all these amazing topics that we all have in common, right? So I'm looking at my phone. How much time do I have with you?
How much time as you want, brother?
Okay, cool.
As much time as you want.
Dude, let's talk, man. So what are you focused on this year? What is your number?
To grow as a person. To learn from my own mistakes. To maybe not let society dictate what my life or my next move is going to be. To be in full control of anything that has to do with my life, because I feel like I try to grasp everything, but it's still not enough.
Mm-hmm.
There's still things that just slip out.
100%, man. You're human,
and it's I get it, it's not gonna be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
But if you work harder, you most likely will get better results.
So question for you,
Yeah.
and question for everybody on this episode. So I've been blessed at a super young age. When I was 18, I'm 27 now. I was blessed to run into somebody that can coach me and lead me and put me under their wing and just teach me how they earned the lifestyle that they earned. And the first question he asked me, and I'll ask you we'll keep it raw, is, hey man, just show me the list of your clearly defined goals. Like where do you put it?
In my pockets.
Where's like your written goals, like written down, with time specific frames? Exactly.
Do you believe?
Let's talk.
I feel like this is where you and I differ a lot, and I don't know. Maybe this is where I'm going wrong, but
Well, let's talk.
I don't I'm not really into timelines. I hate them. I feel like timelines, all it does is
Good point.
it just adds anxiety.
Okay, and where I'm coming from with timelines, I love that. It's actually funny you say that because 95% of the times the goals that you write down with the timeline we don't achieve anyway, but that's not why we do it. But that's why I love you brought that up.
So why do we do it?
Yeah, so that's called, right? It's funny when I went to man, like I didn't learn much from school, to be honest. Like I'll be straight with you, and I didn't listen, so maybe that's why. But I'll be 100 with you, bro. Like I just wasn't fired up about it. I wasn't focused, and I have desire. Like if you show me something that we can use in our life that's actually valuable, dude, I'm in, like all in. But long story short, I learned this from college. You guys set SMART goals, so like specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time specific.
Okay.
And the reason for that isn't, as an example, I got, it's kind of what a coincidence that I'm on this podcast today because I reviewed my goals for my year, and December 31st, 2021, man, I set a big goal. I stretched it. It's uncomfortable. Obviously, there's doubt and uncertainty if I can actually achieve it. But the purpose of that, it takes the same amount of energy to think big as it does to think small. Making 50K a year or 500K a year. It takes the same amount of mental energy to think about, plan, and act on whatever your goals are. So to answer your question about time specific, when you write something down on paper and it's so specific that you can see it so clearly in your mind that you can feel it with a time frame, it turns you into a different man. It'd be like, wow, like I'm chasing something this year. I'm growing towards something. Olympians and athletes like Lionel Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo, all these Olympians read out their goals out loud every day, like 15 times a day. They're called affirmations. They're called having goals. Basically, like as an example, let's say diet and exercise. If you want to weigh a certain amount of weight and feel a certain way at a certain date, once you write the goal down, your brain goes to work to getting that goal. So if you, as an example for me, my goal from now until July is to weigh 200 pounds. Yeah. Okay, that's my goal. I got work to do. And, if I write that down, so by July, 31st, 2021, I want to weigh 200 pounds. Okay. Once I write that down, now month to month, week to week, day to day, I can break it down to the activities that I got to do to get to that goal.
To get to the
now specifically to answer exactly, to get to that, whatever goal that is, whether it's weight, money is really easy to track, having a cash flow goal, a savings goal, a debt-free goal, just turning all your priorities into goals. But to answer your question, it's not about if you hit the goal or not, the date, because you probably won't, but you'll be damn close. And you'll be on your ways, you know what I'm saying? And just there's something, dude, these are what people that are winning in life told me to do. They're like, listen, you got to write your goals down. Don't really care about what you think. Yeah. You got to write your goals down and get so freaking clear on what you want in your life. Like clarity creates activity. Yeah. So if you want to be a certain weight, if you want to have a certain money in your bank account, if you want a certain career, relationship with your spouse, relationship with yourself, it starts with writing it down. And what I love about what you're focused on is you're focused on growing. But the issue is way too generic goals. We can list all these goals. I want to grow. I want to get better. I want to make more money. No. That's way too generic. We need to get so specific, my man, that when you get the goal, you've been saying it to yourself the past 3 years. You're like, I'm not surprised I'm making 250 grand a year. I've been dreaming this the past 5 years. So fired up.
That's crazy.
Yes. It's the truth.
So I feel like this is where we all go wrong. We say we want to grow, but in reality, we should have a height
standard. 100%.
I feel that.
Yeah, you got to increase your standards if you want to change, and it's going to be hella uncomfortable. You're going to fall. Did you know a plane is off course like over 90% of the time to its destination? Yeah. Same with life. You're going to be off course to off course to off course, and all you got to do, man, is every day press the reset button and just get back on course. You didn't hit the gym today? Yo, tomorrow morning, man, let's go. New day, fresh day, new mindset. One other thing I want to talk about, man, let's talk about identity. Let's talk about identity because you want to grow this year. So let's talk about that. What do we got to do to grow? Let's have some ideas. I had a mentorship call 2 weeks ago that I paid for.
Oh, shit.
And this guy has been my man crush for 8 years. He's a 7-figure earner in the firm and organization I work for. And long story short, he's mentored by a guy I look up to. If you guys are in the personal development space, he's mentored by Ed Milet. His name's Stephen Holbrook. Look him up on social media. He's a stud. And I had a call with him. I won it at an auction. I donated when you do an auction and stuff, you gotta beat the bidders. So I donated a certain amount of money to the Children's Wish Foundation, and I had a mentorship call for half an hour with this guy. And we honestly just shot the shit for the first 20 minutes of it. Just got to know each other. It was amazing. I was fanboying, bro. This guy, I look up to him. He's an amazing father, amazing businessman. If you look up his social media, you know what's up. He's the real deal. He helped me a ton in my career and my life. And man, 10 minutes, I just connected with him about tips he gave me. And he gave me 3 tips. And let's talk about that in this podcast.
Talk to me.
Here's some free advice. Here's free value. Yeah. And hey, by
you
the way,
have to pay for this shit. Now everybody gets
I'm giving
it for free.
to everybody else because it's all about contribution, man. Like, it's not only about me, man. If one person on this podcast listens to this and gets excited enough to make a change, that's all I want. And hey, by the way, I'm on Instagram at Daniel George's Broker. Daniel George's Broker. Follow me. Let's connect. Let's grow in life. My goal in life is to have 1 billion friends one day. It's all about exposure and growing. But identity.
Talk to me. 3 tips.
Man. So 3 things I took away from that mentorship call. The first one was identity. And he said, you will never outgrow your income. You will never outgrow your income. Sorry, your income will never outgrow your identity. What that means is, if you're the man or woman that attracts $50,000 a year into your life, if you don't grow and stretch and think bigger and get uncomfortable, do things you don't want to do, write it down, have it clear on who you want to become, if you don't grow that identity, your income will never outgrow your identity. What was that? That scared the shit out of me. That's awesome. Dude, I put mine on silent. You suck.
Yeah, I did that. My bad.
Shut up. What was that? That was like your Dragon Ball Z app, bro.
No, that was.
You gotta collect your coins.
If anybody hearing this and they heard what it is, put in the comment where do you think that sound comes from. Then you can learn what it is. I'm not gonna tell you what it is.
Okay. So identity. Okay. So how do you change your identity? Number 1, you need to get crystal clear on who you want to become personally. And if you're interested in building a business, your team identity. So you got your personal identity and team identity. It can even be personal identity and like your friend's identity. Like, who do you want to hang around, right? Your team in life. And so as an example, like when people look at you personally, how do you want people to look at you? Am I committed, lazy, hardworking, excited, fun, positive, valuable? It can be negative stuff. Do you want to be looked at as a complainer, as an excuse maker, all these types of things? So step number 1, man, take out a fresh piece of paper and start cultivating who do you want to be, right? So as an example, I'll use me as an example. I want to be known as one of the hardest working guys that people know. I want to be known as a fun guy, a funny guy, entrepreneurial, a professional problem solver. I want to be known as somebody that everybody wants in their life. I want to be universally appealing. I want to be fun. I want people to open up to me, to not lie to me because I'm going to make them feel bad. And that's my personal identity. Then team identity, man, my team name in the organization I work for is Team MVP. And it stands for Mission Vision Platform. So our mission is, saving people from financial scarcity. Yeah. Because people are dying out here financially.
Oh, credit card debt. Oh boy.
I know, right? So identity, man, write it down. Number 2 for identity is stare at it every single day. If you stare at the man or woman you eventually want to become, you will start to become that person over time if you're looking at it every single day. That's the power of goal setting, reading it, at least in the morning, maybe at night, at least twice a day, once a day at least. And man, I literally law of attraction, all that shit.
Let me ask you something. So you're telling me that vision boards are a good idea?
Oh my God, amazing. It's fun. It's visual. You get to stretch your thinking.
I hate it.
Why? Well, it's all preference.
You know why?
It's all preference.
It's because I just feel that the more I look at it, and even though I am disciplined enough to push, because there's one thing about my personally, I have a hard time giving up. I have a really hard time giving up.
That's great.
I would really. So I'm not afraid of that. I know it's not gonna happen. I'm not gonna give up. I don't have to look at something to remind me what I have to do every day. But what it does, it affects me negatively. Because the more days pass by that I look at it, and I'm not even close to any of those things on that motherfucking board, it just gets me depressed.
Yeah, well,
It doesn't make me want to quit, but it doesn't generate the right energy for me to get up.
yeah, it's more of a reminder of why you go to work every day. You know, the days you're like, fuck, man, like, is what I'm doing worth it?
But that's the thing for me. It's just personal.
Yeah,
I don't go into anything thinking, you know what, by XX date I should get out of this thing this many money. Nah. For me, it's more like if I like it, I'm doing it. Why?
100%.
Because I like it. I
agree.
I don't necessarily. Yeah, I know I gotta eat.
Yeah.
I know I got bills to pay, but I don't. There's have to be that. First of all, whatever you do for a living, you have to have some like type of middle ground. Where there's maybe that's not the greatest thing you could do, but like if now you're doing that, there has to be something that you like about it.
Right.
Like you can just hate it and just be there.
I love that you say that. Two things come to my mind before my fucking space cadet mind just loses all these tips or topics. The first thing that comes to my mind is I love that you said that. So with the vision board, 100% preference, bro. The things I'm preaching about writing your goals down, I'm not perfect. Okay, I'm fucking so busy.
Yeah.
My organizational skills are disgusting. My activity skills are amazing. I get after it, create a big mess. I just clean it up later. But two things come to mind. The first thing, when it comes to the goal and putting a date behind it, it's an analogy I can say is, you know, it can take you 7 hours to clean your house and you can get it done in 45 minutes. So the purpose of just adding the time frame, and it needs to be realistic. You can't say, you know, you can't be working at Tim Hortons right now and say, I'm going to make $1 million this year. But what you can say is, you know, I'm going to start a side gig and increase my income by 25, 50K by X date. Now, why you do that is the importance of the date is you need to get the goal. You need to grow yourself as a man mentally and physically as a man to attain that goal. You need to change your identity. So it's not about getting the money. It's about becoming the Brian Orzoria that can attract that income and lifestyle in his life. Does that make sense? Like for me, let me talk about my goal. My goal this year, for those of you that don't know, I'm in financial services. So I'm a broker, just like real estate. And my goal by December 31st, 2021, I'm putting on the podcast. Hey. That is challenge accepted.
Mark the date.
I'm all in, bro. I'm all in. So by the end of this year, my brokerage is going to have 100 licensed agents in it. And it's going to earn me a specific amount of income. So that's a stretching goal for me because in my industry and business, people don't have a lot of courage and work ethic, and that's going to change my life, bro. And I'm all in. I'm 7 days a week, 9 to 9. And I'm noticing since I've set that goal, the things I was doing before, I have no desire to do. Like playing video games. Yeah. Like, hunting for girls to sleep with. Not really interested. Doesn't bring me to my goal. Yeah. Clubbing, whatever the things that used to distract me, I have no desire. And it's funny, the things I'm motivated to do is get in the gym at 6 o'clock in the morning, read my goals twice a day, call my friends and family, blow my fucking business up. Like, I'm not here to compete with anybody. I'm here to dominate my space. And man, I'm just fired up, bro.
You know what, when you talk to me, and this is so inspiring at the same time, and I hope it is for a lot of people. Bro. But I'm going to be honest with you. It doesn't sit with me 100% right. And here's why. Okay. And here's why. It's because, like, do you know the difference between reality and truth?
Ooh, that's deep. Difference between reality.
You know what the truth is? Okay, I'm gonna give it to you right now. The truth is,
talk to me.
Jesus is God. That's the truth.
Sure.
And you know what the reality is? 2 + 2 is 4. Does that make sense?
What I take away from that is like I have my perspective of reality, but the truth is personal. Right, truth right. And that's personal. An example. Truth I got you. Yeah, it's personal.
And reality is universal.
Well, truth also doesn't need an explanation. Like you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Interesting.
So see, for me, even though this stuff that you talk to me about, write your goals and read them X many times a day and all this stuff, that is your truth. But to me, I'm like, but the reality is, It doesn't matter how many times I write this shit. What happens if it doesn't happen? Because that's just life.
Different conversation.
That's
100%.
like that's just life right there.
Yeah.
So this is where I'm like,
That's where you stay flexible.
I wanna be just master at discipline.
Oh, 100%.
That
100%.
like once you master
That's
discipline,
amazing, bro.
once you master discipline, it doesn't matter what the outcome is.
Mm-hmm.
You will do what you say you was gonna do
Mm-hmm.
because you're disciplined.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You're gonna follow through.
There's a difference between goal setting and goal getting. 100%. We actually don't even do goal setting classes. We
Yeah.
call them goal getting.
Go get it.
Because you can sit here and make a business plan for the next 140 hours, but if you don't have the courage to put the activity in, yeah, 100%, man. And dude, that was my issue growing up. I was raised from an immigrant family from Iraq, very comfortable, had their jobs, middle income, paycheck to paycheck, and those habits did not bring me value when I left Brantford and I ran into business. And I'm like, okay, I was not taught discipline. I was not taught, my habits and mindset and just all these things. I'm like, everyone has this opportunity to learn more look into this more, and they don't. It just blows my mind.
The
I have no
one
idea.
thing, the one thing that always seems to work for me, because we got to work together for a little bit, and one thing that always sat with me is like you said something kind of like Brian, you are low maintenance but high producer.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the first time I heard that. Like I almost
There's
wanted,
4 quadrants.
Yeah. So I almost wanted like, what the fuck you mean I'm low maintenance? And then after you describe it, like, okay, well, look, this is what you do, this is what you don't do, but this is how you overcompensate,
Right.
which is great.
Yeah.
Like there's no problem.
Self-motivated.
There's no problem with what you do.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of people that are high maintenance and low producing.
Yes, there is. There's a lot of people like
Right.
that.
So
Unfortunately, I have to coach those people, which is okay. I'm down to. I'm humble, but it's extremely tiring.
what I'm trying to get with this is, people. I grew up to believe in hard work, and sacrifice, and discipline. Those 3 things will get you anywhere. If you're willing to make the right sacrifices, never stop working what you want to do. It's only failure when you stop. Doesn't matter if it takes you 100 years to achieve it. It's only failure when you stopped. And just be disciplined. Stick to it. Stick to it.
That's immigrant mentality, bro.
And honestly, it is the best thing ever. Because people here, they're just, they're born with everything in their hands given to them. And even if you don't have it like that, let's just say you're not wealthy or whatever, you have a whole ass system, aka government, that supply you with your necessities. I come from a place that if you don't work, you don't eat, and that's it. There is no welfare, there is no nothing.
Question for you.
Yes.
So there's poverty class, and then like low middle class, and there's middle class, and then there's like higher class, and there's upper class. Like wealthy is upper class, higher class is decent. But most of us are in middle class and stuff. So question for people on this YouTube or this podcast and for you.
Yeah.
Out of all the classes, which class do you think struggles and suffers the most in their life?
I feel like
financially too.
Like
financially, emotionally, spiritually. Which one do you think is the hardest to come out of? Is my question. Out of all the classes, which class is the hardest to break out of?
I personally think like the upper class.